Josh, wins a win, opening day, can't ask for much more, can you? Or was you a bit disappointed in the performance?
No, I wouldn't say I was disappointed with the performance. I thought, like you say, win's a win. You've got to start off with a win. You've got a clean sheet, obviously really good, because last season, out of possession, off the ball, we were very poor. I was quite happy with the performance as well, other than not being clinical going forward. I think Bruno probably could have scored one of the chances that he had in the first half. Out of the entire game, I think the most concerning part would be just after half-time. We always seem to come out under pressure. Every single time we come out in the second half, I think that's something that to keep an eye on. But overall, I think mainly a lot of positives about the game.
Yeah, substitutions, debutants, everyone playing well. I thought did their jobs when they came on off the bench. And I think more importantly, when you've got 3 debutants all make the debut on the same day, all perform the way they did, especially Mazraoui. I mean, talk to me about his performance, because everybody's been impressed with that and what he's done there. Is it a breath of fresh air just to have that competent right back in? I'm not saying Wan-Bissaka wasn't, but you can see a difference there, can't you?
Oh, totally. Man of the match for me. Man of the match. I mean, you could tell he was definitely blowing when he came off. He was absolutely knackered, which is to be expected. But from how he played, I mean, he can play 3 different sort of. He can overlap. He can tuck into midfield. He can tuck into a back 3. I thought his anticipation and timing. Some of his sort of like the way he rolled passes back, and that was. I just thought his awareness of where he was. I think that's the one thing that was not so good with Wan-Bissaka, is that yes, he was great at slide tackling, but ultimately that was because he was in the wrong position a lot of the time. I honestly thought before the game that Mazraoui was going to start at left back and Dalot at right back, and I did think that whilst you could see why he started at right back, I think Dalot struggled at left back, which is unexpected because he's played pretty well there in the games that he has played there. So I'd be interested to see if that continues moving forward or whether he does decide to flip them over. But I thought it was really impressive.
You've got to look at it there. The sooner we get a back 4, stable back 4, the better. Obviously, if Maguire went off with a suspected injury, probably precautionary. Another 4 centre-backs on in the same game again. It's a little bit concerning, obviously, after what happened last season. But I think Martinez, minutes in his legs, no injuries. Obviously, De Ligt getting minutes as well. Do you feel it is going to be De Ligt and Martinez going forward? Do you think Harry Maguire, because a lot of people were impressed with him today, do you think he's done enough to give Ten Hag a bit of an headache?
I think it's a really interesting prospect, that, because I think the one criticism I did have of Maguire in that game is when trying to play out from the back, he holds on to it a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Overall, though, aerially, defensively, I thought he was superb when he was in that 2-on-1 and he won that as well. I personally think that is a headache for Brighton, because I think De Ligt's more used to being under pressure.
Yeah.
However, I still think when Euro comes back, he's going to be a starter. When I look at the centre-back partnership, so I always think of centre-backs in sort of 2 different ways. I think of cover centre-backs who are quick and sort of are good going backwards, so the likes of Varane, the likes of Branthwaite, who obviously we've been linked to, and I think we'll go back in for him next year. And then I think like aggressors who step up. Martinez, De Ligt and Maguire are all aggressors, so I think there is potential problems if they overcommit, but I was actually really impressed with De Ligt when he came on for his first game in in a game where, I mean, they were
pressure situation, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And ultimately, you don't play for the types of clubs that De Ligt's played for if you can't deal with pressure.
That's it. Talk to me about the man whose name was being chanted as we walked out there. Comes on off the bench on his debut, gets the winner. It's a dream start in it for Joshua Zirkzee. Does he start next game now because of that? Because you said before we weren't clinical enough. 1 chance, 1 goal. Is that what it matters? Is that what matters? Is that what's going to get him in that starting lineup against Brighton for you?
I think it's complicated because I think with Mount we pressed really well. His energy levels were fantastic, and he's had a pre-season. But you can't leave it too long to get Zirkzee into the team. And ultimately, whether he's good aerially, he's still a good presence. He's good with his link-up. I mean, you've seen the way he took the ball. I mean, I mentioned to you earlier about the way that he sort of took the ball under pressure and everybody was screaming for him to play it out to the winger, and he just rolled it back and played it to the full-back. That sort of gave management. So if it was me, obviously I don't know how his fitness is overall, but I would probably start him against Brighton and probably give him 60 minutes, see how things are going. If he's tired, take him off. But ultimately I think you have to get him in sooner rather than later. because he made a massive difference to how we held the ball. I think we look better going forward in terms of actually retaining the ball.
No, before you go, you said, I think you did say man of the match, Mazraoui. So just to finish off nicely, is there anyone that run him close that you would say as well?
Definitely Maguire. Definitely Maguire. A lot of people have said that, and I can't disagree with that. I mean, to go from where he was to where he is and the criticism that he faced, there's still valid concerns in his game, but ultimately I think he played really well. And I think Bruno got in the right positions. I think probably not close enough to push him, but he still had a good game. And I'm going to sort of flip that question in a way. Rashford, I'm one of his biggest critics. I didn't think he was that poor today. I thought he was good. I thought the pass was a little bit behind at the end when he tried to square it to Garnacho. But ultimately, as somebody who's given him a lot of flack, I want to say that he played reasonably well today.
Fair enough. Your points, Josh. Cheers for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.